Welcome back to my channel. I do podcast cams all those who don't know. I have low vision. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I see my awesome content channel. I do songwriting, history lesson, auto repair. Blow your mind what I can do with low vision. I swear there's no limitations in this life except the ones we put upon ourselves, and never put a limitation on yourself. Always remember that. Now today's video. Anyone with a disability most likely faces this, but blind people I found out faces it a lot. I was looking that up and I was talking to someone recently and they said that. But one thing we need to address is violence. Violence isn't just physical, it can be non-physical too. It can be verbal or it can be physical. Now, growing up, you all know I grew up low income and poverty. My mom tried the best she could being a single mother, raised me, and she adopted me of all things. So I really give her credit. Adopting a child, then find out he's visually impaired, and then still giving all she has to give to make sure I can have the best childhood I could, and sacrificing her own happiness so I could grow up. Thank you, Mom, if you see this, for all you done for me, by the way, too. Now let's get into the video. I play sports, yes, back in the day, but we're not talking about that. Today we're talking about my experiences I faced going through school, and some of it happened outside and inside. Now we're going to start with 6th grade is when it all began, about the second month into 6th grade. It started at just verbal, so I'm like, yeah, that don't matter, just block it out, okay? But then it moved further. It became physical. Yes, the first time it became physical, I remember, 6th grade. It was the morning time. I had gym in the morning in middle school. Our middle school had 6th through 8th grade all together. Well, it was middle school. I'm walking out, all of a sudden I'm in the gym, all of a sudden, poof, I can't breathe. I got hit so hard, I couldn't breathe. Literally, you all. And you know what the gym teacher? Walk it off. I'm like, walk it off? He's like, yeah, we'll come back. I'm like, seriously? And you ain't gonna do nothing about that? And then it's like, nothing happened. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit more. Yeah, same verbal, same harassment. That's why I really didn't like going and stuff like that. But my mom had her own personal struggles at home going through, and I didn't need to burden her with all the issues going on. I let her know a few things, but not everything. Now, my father knew a little bit more that was going on because he didn't have the same stresses, but, you know, but long story short, then a couple months later, once again in gym class, I was standing near the bleachers and I got pushed. So then what do? You put your hand out so you don't get slammed into it. Well, my finger got broken. Then I ended up going to the nurse's office and he said, you're just using it as an excuse to go home. Go back to class. And I said, could I use a phone to call my mom? Because I didn't have a phone back then. They said, no, go back to class. Well, I go back to class later on that day. I get home. My mom takes me to the doctor. It's a broken finger. Then they didn't know what to say. Then fast forward a little bit. I even had trouble on the bus a little bit, but those kids weren't as bad as the ones at school. But I had a friend that stuck up for me a lot. But I learned it's good to walk away and always remember that. But sometimes when you get school officials involved, it can make things worse because the schools don't do everything they're supposed to. Which I found out in 7 days, the school is supposed to report anything that happens to anybody. It's a law. I didn't know that back then. Now I know it. But I had my shoes taken off. I had my cane taken. I had, which my cane for walking visually impaired. And I got told, go get it. Yeah, gum stuck in my ear, stuff like that. And this is in a school, you all. This stuff was going on. And on their one bus, too, they had things going on. And they did nothing to address it. Oh, we're doing the best we can. So then I decided to stay home because I didn't feel safe being threatened, being told things and stuff like that. So like, no, I'm going to stay home. Then the school knew what was going on. They threatened to put me on pins if I didn't start going to school. And I said to them, I said, you knows I don't want to burden my mom with everything. Oh, we're doing the best we can. This is all we can do. I said, you're going to put me on pins, but you won't address the issues that's going on. Now, I should have talked to Mrs. G more about things going on, but I didn't want to burden her with the problem. She's the best teacher in that school, and she followed me from 6 all the way up to 12. I think she knew a little bit of stuff that was going on, but not everything. She was amazing, and she followed me. When I went to the high school, she went to the high school. But we ain't talking about that. We're talking about things that went on. Now, when I didn't go to school because I didn't feel safe at all, so then I stayed home. Well, I was forced to go. Because they said if you don't go, we're to put you on pins, or we can put you in foster care and take you away from your mother. So like, okay, I'll go. Yeah, I took some attitude out on my mom that I never should have, but like my primary doctor and stuff that I talked about years later said that's what you do when you're stressed out. Sometimes take it out on those who love you and care for you. Well, da da da, 6th grade ends, 7th grade starts, going okay, da da da, and more physical stuff in the hallways and stuff like that. And the classroom wasn't nothing, it was the hallways, gym, and basically that's it. Well, the hallways, it wasn't good to walk, especially having a disability, but it was what it was. So then a dance came. Yes, a dance. And I danced with this one girl. My mom dropped us off and everything like that. My mom dropped me off. She didn't know the other girl was going to be there, of course. But, when you're that young, you don't tell your mom everything. So I'm like, okay, I met this girl. We were dancing and stuff. Well, someone walked up and it was a Halloween dance. You were in your costume and stuff. Knocked the thing that I had on my head off and knocked the thing off the other young lady, too. I'm like, wow, that's rude. I didn't say it out loud. I said, all right, let's just walk away from this situation instead of escalating things and making things worse. It's better to walk away. But then, a few months later, I was in gym class. And in the locker room, someone tried to steal my clothes, y'all. Steal my clothes when I had the locker open, right? And said, what am I going to do about it? So then that time, yeah, I did fight back, but it's not good to. And I would tell anyone facing this stuff, don't fight back unless you absolutely have to. Don't fight back. Trust me. Because you can actually get in trouble too by the school. So you don't want to do that. So, now 8th grade comes around. Okay, I have sometimes Mrs. G walks in the halls with me so I know everything's good and stuff like that. I'll hang out with Mrs. G and stuff. I'm like, okay, if I stay by Mrs. G, nothing will go wrong. Well, that was true. Nothing did. They was seen a teacher, adult. But at home now, our picnic table got busted. Someone rolled the picnic table around the yard and stuff like that. Keyed my mom's ex-boyfriend's quad. Yeah, all that nonsense. But, long story short, now we're going to move up to high school. Alright, we're moving up to high school. What grade? 9th grade through 12th to high school is. 9th through 12th. Sorry about that. But I went to high school. Everything's going good. At the beginning, everything going good. Then all of a sudden, it starts, the same stuff starts there. And I'm like, what? I thought it'd be all... And then, well, I should have known the same kids, But then stuff starts there. And I'm like, no, I'm very getting sick and tired of this. So I decided to stay home. But then I decided, no, I'm just going to go. Then, of all things that can make things worse, my mom accidentally was cleaning the microwave and she forgot something in it. And then she hit go. Well, this one teacher assistant said, well, you tried to catch your house on fire. And I said, no, I didn't. And then I went home, told my mom that, and I went and got the fire department report, everything, and showed that, oh, I'm sorry. I said, but you said it in front of all these kids that can go around telling other people, and some of them did, and it made things worse. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then, it wasn't just that. Me being legally blind, I still had enough sight. People get legally blind and blind confused. Legally blind, you still have some sight. Well, they would call CPS on my mom for letting me ride a bicycle. They would call CPS on that stuff, but they wouldn't call CPS on their own school for the abuse that I was going through in that school system. They wouldn't do that. They allowed it to go on in their schools and did nothing to stop it. Now that I have an advocate and stuff that works with me and stuff, I found out that was wrong. And then they had me do a job coach thing. Instead of education, I went cleaning tables, cleaning bathrooms of a Burger King, and then went to the Budbridge Center, did stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to do job coach, I want an education. And they felt because I was legally blind and they don't want to give me the opportunities I deserved, they could stick me from 8th grade into a different kind of thing in 9th grade and make it so I had job coach and stuff and try and rob me of my education. Like my advocate and I was talking about, there are laws that can stop that. I didn't know it back then though. Because literally, this school system really screwed me over. Because back when I was a kid, I never thought I'd be where I am today. Hell, with the threats and everything going on, I didn't even think I lived to be in my 20s. I didn't even think I was going to make it through school. It wasn't that, know what I mean? It's like I was worried that something was going to happen like I was told it was. I was told one day, this is what I exactly told. I'm going to say word for one day or get you and your leaf expecting it. I'm like, what? I'm like, what does that mean? And they said, that will put you out of your misery. I'm like, what? In the school, I went to the principal and said this to them. Nothing was done. Nothing. Now my mom babysitted back when I was back to middle school. And two of the kids were on the bus that I had issues with in the whole group that they all hung out with. Well, when I'm in school walking a hall, they're saying that R word baby and stuff that your mother watches and stuff like that. I'm like, wow. I'm just ignoring. Just ignore, just ignore. Well, I got a smart pen. A smart pen. It talks, it reads what's on the page and stuff. Well, that got stolen from me in school. Then I had a couple other things that got stolen and stuff like that, but I had some friends that stood up for me, yes, because I don't believe in confrontation unless if it's absolutely needed. But I had a chaotic life at home too. My mom's one ex-boyfriend was addicted to some stuff, so I had that going on. Then I had school life that was chaotic, so I'm like, damn. So where I found peace was hanging out with my friend Abby and stuff like that, her sister Sheila and Max and stuff like that. Because I said, no, what? Here is peaceful hanging out with my friends outside of school and stuff like that. This is peaceful. Instead of hearing my mom and her ex-boyfriend arguing all that stuff and then him stealing from me. Yeah, my uncle and my mom's ex used to steal. If you guys haven't seen that yet, you can check it out on that. But what I want to say, we need to make more things for those who are going through struggles and children to be knowing if they talk to someone, it won't get told to everybody. And sometimes kids just need to hear it's going to be all right. Because I'll be honest, the only thing that I had at my house, because I didn't want to burden my mom with everything she knew some, was a bunny rabbit. His name was Velvet Ears. He was awesome. I missed that guy. He passed away in 2015. My rabbit, I had him. He lived a long time. I got him from 5th grade, and he passed away in 2015. And I graduated in 2012, y'all. So that's a long time that rabbit lived. And he was liver trained. But sorry for getting off topic. Back to the subject. Now I took automotive in Votech in high school. And then one teacher said to me, why do you want to take automotive? Why are you into cars? You can't drive. What's the point of even doing it? I'm like, this is a teacher now saying to a student that. And I said, well, I explained. I thought maybe he was confused. I said, well, just because I'm visually impaired don't mean I can't enjoy automobiles, though I cannot drive them. There are other blind mechanics. I already looked this up. And I want to do it because that's a passion I like. Oh, well, you find something else. You shouldn't even bother doing something like that. And then they called CPS for my hands having grease stains on them. Yes, you know how when you work on cars, sometimes you get a little grease that won't come off? They call CPS for child abuse on my mom for that. Yes, for that. But my dad called and he's like, why are you guys doing that? And calling CPS because he got a phone call. Then my dad went into school one day, you all. I'm in 9th grade. They had me doing elementary work. I showed my father a paper and he said, thank you. And then he called the principal down and everything like that. And they told the main desk never to let my father back in the building. Yes, that's what they did. But now back to the story. Being bullied, sometimes kids won't exactly say what's going on to their parents because they will say some things, but not all. But if you are a parent and you're watching this, you need to look for signs. Do they have nightmares? Do they have mood swings? Right? They get angry, they're frustrated. Their favorite things they love doing, do they push their life away from it? Do they have nightmares? Now, I have nightmares in my past because things I went through, yes. But what I'm trying to say here is we need to stop these things from going on because if I went through it, I know there are others that went through it worse. And I do know because I've been looking up before I did this video to help anyone out there going through it. Now I'm in admins in groups to stop bullying. Yes, they're online groups that students can talk to their kids. Kids can talk to who are going through that and need someone to talk to and someone to help them get the right resources and who to talk to. I'm an admins in one of those groups. Actually, two of them. I'm also admins in other groups. I also am in a group that helps women that are in domestic violence and stuff like that, help them find ways to get out of it and stuff like that. I believe the goal in life is to help each other. Now, I'm a songwriter, singer just starting out, not well known, but if I ever become famous and rich, I'm going to help everyone I can because all of my bills are paid, that's on me. But I want you all to know this. If you are watching this and you face bullying, tell an adult you can trust. It doesn't have to be a parent, it doesn't have to be someone at school. Tell someone though you need to. Now, I got punched in the neck, got punched in the chest. I even got knocked on the ground a couple times. But it was physical a lot. I'm not going to say everything because it'd be too long too long of a video for me to say everything I went through. Bottle caps thrown at me, stuff poured on me, stuff that shouldn't have been poured on me, all different kinds of stuff I went through. Yes. And I'm not sure my mom knew it or not by stuff that was on my clothes not once in a while, but I don't know. But all I know is the schools need to do more to stop this stuff from going on. Some schools do a good job, some don't. The one I went to knew it was going on, and all they did, I had a talk with the kids, and that's it. And it continued and continued until I graduated. Even after I graduated, I ran into those kids a couple times. I had a problem. One time I had to take off on foot and run. Being legally blind, I still have some sight. And I had to run because all of a sudden, I heard, "We got your doors covered. We got all of your doors." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Ooh, ooh." And then it was a white Nissan because I still had enough sight back then. My eyes got worse now. But it was a white Nissan four-door that pulled up in front, like trying to like box me in or something. So I knew to go to the side. And I ran home. Another time I was walking, I had an incident. It was a truck and a car, the white Nissan and a pickup, a Dodge pickup with a sticker on the back that said Bone Collector. But that's my experience, part two, to being bullied. And it's too much to list all the physical stuff I went through. Like, too much things to list. But I hope if anyone is going through bullying and you are watching this video, you need to go to a trusted adult and you need to tell them what's going on. And if the school don't do nothing, there are laws to prevent that. And remember that. Get an advocate. Fight for your rights. Make sure you don't let anyone take advantage of you or put you down. Remember, if you find yourself being bullied, you did nothing wrong. You are perfect the way you are. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Peace.
Home. Shutter.